Hi, I'm Joy Macknight, Deputy Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Sue Dean, Head of Treasury Services for EMEA at JPMorgan, to discuss what is top of mind for corporate treasurers and how they can best take advantage of the digital revolution. Sue, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
What would you say are the really big challenges that corporates face in terms of cash management today?
We're still seeing that visibility and transparency are some of the challenges, that the actual corporates get that single view of their cash accounts to really drive cash optimization. And it's now how they can start to begin to use all the opportunities with the new capabilities to bring that centralisation very much to the fore, so they can get that single view, which will position them to be far more flexible in this changing landscape. And obviously cyber is another challenge that is again very much at the fore and a key topic of discussion with our clients as they look to combat the cyber crime and unfortunately the ever increasing complexity of that cyber crime that we see coming through.
And then in terms of how corporates and banks can work closer together to really instigate the change that's needed in corporate treasury, how do you think that's really playing out?
I think in this sort of day and age where things are rapidly moving and there's lots of innovative technology coming to the fore, it's really about partnering with your bank, explaining your strategy and how the bank can help to augment your strategy with the new innovative capabilities that are coming into the market that actually can complement very nicely in terms of driving whilst combating some of the challenges that we see out there, particularly from a regulatory perspective and some of the geopolitical changes as well.
Because there's a lot happening in terms of the European landscape. How can corporates best cope with that?
I mean, there's a tremendous amount and a lot of unknowns in that as well. Really around simplification, making sure that your structures are as efficient as they can be, driving towards that centralisation which gives you stronger visibility, and the tools that are out there that can help you to drive that simplification and start to really give you that centralised view that then enable you to adapt and adjust once we know how things may begin to play out from a geopolitical perspective.
Okay. And you mentioned it already, which is the whole idea of new technology coming into play. How can treasurers really take advantage of this whole digital transformation revolution that's happening now?
I think it's really understanding what is out there and how they can bring it into their infrastructure. So in some instances, there's the ability to take applications and and wrap around the treasury systems. In others, there's an opportunity, obviously, to define and redefine your treasury capabilities. But we see APIs, we hear about robotics. Those are all things that are being used and have great capability. So really talk to your banks about what are they bringing to the market and how can they seamlessly integrate with your treasury systems and bring you the benefits and the efficiencies that will ultimately drive more cash optimization.
Okay, and there's this whole sort of new breed of corporate, which is really this sort of very fast, international expansion, global expansion and stuff. How can the treasurers really act as, business partners to that kind of, whether it's an e-commerce company or something along those lines?
I think these treasurers are really the experts, and to remind themselves they absolutely are the experts around treasury and cash activity, cash movement. So when a corporation expands, when you expand into a new jurisdiction or into a new industry type, it's really around how that treasury can then bring to the fore their experiences around how can cash flow in a new jurisdiction, for example. So they understand the exchange controls. Does a business understand the exchange controls and the requirements to operate in terms of a cash perspective in that location? So I think it's just treasurers just remembering that they are experts and bring that expertise to the fore when they're having discussions about expansion.
Great. Thank you so much for your insights, Sue.
Thank you.